Seems more zoomed in
Yeah.
than before I clicked go live. Why did it do that?
I'll check my phone to see how zoomed it is.
Hi, everybody. We don't know if you can hear us, if you can see us.
There.
Oh, we are.
4
Okay.
viewers.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Say hello if you like,
Yeah.
and then we know who's with us.
I wonder why it zoomed in like
12.
that. Wow. You guys were ready. Why did it zoom in? Okay, well, it's going to be
That's nice.
up close and personal.
Oh, we used to have it on the music stand behind last time.
Is that what we did?
Yeah.
Oh. Looks great, and I can hear you. Thank you, Lindy. Hi, Lindy.
Oh, hello. Hi, Nancy, Joanne, Linda. Greetings. We'll just take, what are we doing right now? Why is
Well,
this
I think
stalling?
there's always like a little buffer period where people are like, hi, just waiting to see if there's other people coming, and then we'll get started.
Oh, more people. Hi, everybody else. Wow. Yeah, like, so you don't have any like pre-stuff planned for your show?
Well, if we're ready.
No, like for times like these.
No, usually it's just people fixing their hair. You can say, do I have anything in my teeth?
Oh, yeah.
Do I actually?
Yeah.
Really though?
Look.
I don't. Oh, there's your mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Bonnie. Nice to see you. Okay, well, welcome to this week's episode 2 of Live with Laur. Written and performed by Laura Bidell. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody, to week 2 of our 3-week live Facebook event with CPC. We're so glad that you are here. And tonight, I have a little surprise. I'm going to be handing over my host chair to a special host.
Guest.
And we have a special guest who will be joining us. And that guest is me, and that host is Mike Bidell. So I'm going to invite you to take the host chair.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to switch chairs. Oh, okay.
My office is still being set up here.
Literally climbing. That's good.
This chair isn't comfortable at all.
Oh,
Okay.
I like the angles better in my seat.
Okay. So this is my first time guest hosting a show. Welcome to your show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's push this back a bit more. How about that? Is that better? No. Sorry. Technical. Okay, we'll get some questions going here. We look forward to hearing from people online too. We'll do our best to try. Oh, no, this is my show.
See?
We'll do our best to keep our eye on some of the, how do I do that? There are some of the questions. Oh my goodness. This is why I don't have a show.
Yeah.
Some of the questions that we see on there. So you might have some questions for Laura. I know I do.
Can't wait.
Like, did you play any games or have any competitions tonight at dinner time?
Yes.
Care to
I
tell
did.
us about this?
Well, we played a game that Mike and I shook on at the dinner table, and I lost. And I was a sore loser.
Mm.
And right in front of our children. And Mike is just bringing you in on a real family moment.
It still feels a little tense.
Really? Would you say so? I apologize. I genuinely apologized.
Yeah, but right before we went live, she was like, I could still get really angry about that.
I did not say that.
With that kind of face.
No, this is not true.
Yeah, you did say you could get angry about it.
No, I said I felt justified in my response, but I know that it was wrong nonetheless, and I feel as though I could discuss it further, but I did not say get very angry about it.
Well, that type of language didn't sound like it was going to be pleasant in terms of discussion. Yeah, feel free to ask lots of questions about the competition tonight. If you want to know, we'll tell you, but we don't have to.
Yes.
First question we see right now that's being asked right there. Kirsty's asking, is Laura an extrovert or an introvert? Thank you, Lindy. We'll follow up with your question next.
I would say that I am a socially functional introvert. I manage well in social settings, but I definitely am an introvert and need complete isolation by myself to recharge. So the introvertedness runs deep with a hint of I love seeing people and being around
Laura,
them.
you love groups and team and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
Laura's
love
great
team.
socially. She's confident and fun, but definitely you need to recharge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
Completely.
Oh, she needs a mic hug. Thank you, Joanne. Let's get that.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm sorry I had a bad attitude.
Yeah, I forgive you. If I had something to apologize for, I would as well, but okay, so the game, since you asked Lindy,
Yes.
we hold ourselves accountable to our children as well. And so one of our children commented that they felt more recently that mom and dad include their phones with them at the dinner table a bit too often. And it is easy to get distracted by checking a recent update or email, or somebody's contacting you or whatever. And so there's a temptation when one of your kids calls you on something like that to be like, to
You are wrong.
defend that this is important and I need this. But we decided to, I said to Laura, I said, how about this? Whoever touches the phone first during dinner has to clean up dinner. And
I touched my phone.
well,
check the
the
time.
other piece was that dinner was considered over once everybody was finished all their food.
Yes, that was the stipulation. That was the one rule that everyone had to be finished eating. Was there some confusion?
None.
Perhaps.
None. It was clear.
Perhaps there may have been some confusion, but the truth
For
is,
example,
I touched my
Mira had
phone.
a full bowl of food still.
Yes.
And I was trying to get Laura, I was actually plotting, how do I raise the question what time it is to see if Laura will quickly just check and tell us. And I didn't have to because she did it herself. So
Where the confusion may have come in is at that moment when I checked my phone, there were only 3 of 6 people sitting at the table. The rest had left, which annoys me greatly when that happens.
the ones that were still eating left, because some people arrived to the church where we live.
Yes.
And it was the ones who wanted to
so
escape their dinner.
The 3 that were remaining at the table had no food left. And so I got up and checked my phone as I was getting up. And
Okay.
I checked my phone and I apologized to our children for being a sore loser because that's what parents do. We apologize.
Yeah. Okay. We're 10 minutes in, and that's enough of our
I just feel
story.
like I need to be able to finish that so that they all know I'm not like some terrible person.
That's not terrible.
Being a sore loser is ugly.
Well, it wasn't pretty, folks. We were uncomfortable. Let's put it that way.
Okay, now we can move on.
Okay.
love you.
I love you too. So, questions for Live with Laura. I've got my sheet here. Laura wrote these questions. No, I did. Why don't we get into a bit of your story? Let us know who you are, where you're from. Were you born in British Columbia? What was growing up like? Faith, all that kind of stuff. Give us a bit. I might interject to probe for some certain things you could say, but
Okay.
some story.
Well, my name is Laura Elizabeth Bidell, nee Cantillon, and I was born in Winnipeg, Manitoba at Grace Hospital. Lived there for 6 months of my life, so I don't remember any of it. And then when I was about 6 months old, my parents moved us to Langley, British Columbia. And it was me and my brother. And then there were two more over time. My sister and brother, younger sister and brother. So there's three of us, three siblings. I have three siblings. There's four kids. And my dad was the pastor at a big church for a long time in Langley at Christian Life Assembly. And I can truthfully say that while being a pastor's kid growing up had its challenges, that I had one of the best experiences, and I loved my childhood. Our church at the time, it was big, but it was growing and experienced an incredible season of renewal. And I was about 11 to 13 or 14 during that season. You can probably correct me. You would know better. I remember better my age.
98.
Yeah. Anyways, I remember just being totally on fire for the Lord during that season. And really respected my parents as pastors. They weren't perfect people. They aren't, and none of us are. But they pointed us to Jesus, and they didn't over require kind of some of that unspoken, sometimes unwritten pressure that pastors' kids can face, that family's got to have it all together. And as you saw tonight, we certainly don't. We have our familial issues as well. And so I respected that my dad, what he preached, he lived off stage to the best of his ability. And I saw honest and real faith and saw their challenges, and really can attribute my genuine walk with the Lord to just having that modeled in my life. And I'm eternally grateful. When I was 14, I went on my first missions trip and went to Uganda for a month by myself, which was fun. My parents are good friends with Gary and Marilyn Skinner at Watoto, and so I went and stayed there for a month. And then after that, on my 15th birthday, got on a plane and met my whole family and another team in London, England, and we went to Russia and spent a week there and then a week in Estonia, and it was all on missions, and that was a blast. It was my first experience with overseas missions, and I loved it. I was really blessed as a teenager to go on a lot of missions trips. We didn't go on fancy family holidays, but we went on missions trips. And I went to Denmark for 5 weeks. I was in a rock band. And I went to Rwanda and did a camp there. Fun fact. Oh, maybe I regret saying that. Okay, well, shoot. Fun fact about that was my nickname in Rwanda was Long Drop Laura. Because we were
Long Drop.
We were on a team of, it was a large team all staying in a small house, and there was an outhouse in the back that's a long drop. It's essentially a hole in the ground. And everybody else was trying to use the one toilet in the home that didn't work, and I just happily would go out to that long drop. And so I got that name, and I really regret
Would you camp with me in my truck or a Delica of our future and use an outdoor toilet?
Possibly. I am a lot older.
And more mature and experienced.
Yep.
That sounds like it's a plan.
I got married to Mike Bidell when I was 19 years old. I had my first baby when I was 21, which is young. But it was wonderful, and I'm so glad that we did. I'm glad to be where we're at now and have a teenager that's taller than me and still have energy
officially taller. So, Mom, you can be prepared.
Bonnie, Lyndon is this much taller than me already.
So, go backwards. Married at what age?
19.
Baby at?
21.
Next baby?
22.
Next baby?
I don't know.
4 years later.
26.
And then Mira, 27.
27.
Yeah. And we'll see about any others. Okay. I recall hearing that you've had some nevers in your life.
I did have some nevers.
Have you ever had some nevers where you say never to God, I'll never do this or that? Yeah, Laura did too.
I had 3. The first one was that I would never marry a man named Michael because I lived on a cul-de-sac that had 2 very rotten little Michaels playing kids that we grew up with. In my child's memory, of course, I'm sure they're wonderful people now. But that was a little unspoken never in my heart. And
Are you happy how this one's worked out?
It's extremely. I'm very happy with how all 3 of them have, all 3 of my nevers have turned out. And
on that subject, Chris Burgess asks, what is your most favorite, absolute favorite characteristic of Mike? There's a lot.
There is a lot. So many that it's hard to pick just one in this moment. No, I genuinely can say that one of my favorite...
We can keep this light. I mean, I was being playful. If you're going to get
okay,
serious,
well, his humor.
I might kiss you, but...
His humor. But there's a lot of proverbs in the Bible that talk about foolish people talking too much and wise people they know when to speak. I can't recall an exact one right now, but something that I really respect about Mike is that he's incredibly wise. Perhaps the wisest person I have ever known. I say perhaps for no reason. That could be an absolute.
I think we know some very wise people.
But he doesn't offer his wisdom unsolicited, and he knows when to speak and when to be quiet. And at times it's frustrating because I'll be sitting in meetings with Mike in contexts knowing I bet he has something really great to say right now. And when he does, it's the perfect moment. And it's usually
Okay, I regret asking this question. I was hoping we'd keep it light, but back to the nevers.
That was a nice question. I like that one. The nevers. My second never was that I would never church plant. My third never was that I would never move to Vancouver Island. So when I was a kid, I went on some family holidays with with a friend's family, and they went to Nanaimo, and I guess it was just where we stayed, but it was just super boring. And I was really young, and so I just never wanted to move to Vancouver Island. I did have pleasant memories with my grandparents. They pastored in Victoria for a little while, and so I did have fun staying with them. But I didn't want to move to Vancouver Island, and here we are again. And I am pinching myself every day, laughing out loud as bald eagles are flying over my car as I drive, and deer are in the field.
And sometimes the street.
Yeah.
It is funny, isn't it, how you can have nevers in your heart, and God goes after some of them. And it is interesting. You would say, and I would agree with you, like church planting was one of the most enriching, exciting experiences of our lives. Being on the island was a never for Laura, but we love it.
Once you move on, it's hard to move off.
Yeah.
Am I right?
And then I had some nevers too, which were primarily never to be youth pastor and then never plant a church. Of course, my first job was as a youth pastor. I wasn't seeking it out, but it came to me. And then we planted a church. And so now we've learned to pray differently. So now we pray things like this. God will never own a condo in Maui. I'll never go to Patagonia in South America and fly fish and those kind of things. So.
I will never be a millionaire.
Okay. We'll just see what happens. Anyways, let's get to another question. I have heard various reports that dogs may like you.
Yeah.
Is this true? Tell us about this.
It's weird. Our family, we grew up, we were not pet people. We tried so hard. There were days where we'd come home and the goldfish were just gone. And I don't actually think they died. I think my parents just flushed them down the toilet. We had hamsters. Then they died. We had hamsters. They were released into the field. I think because there was like 2 females and they were trying to eat each other or something weird. Hamsters are weird. And then we had a dog. We had a little dog, a little cockapoo. She was the runt of the litter. She was very cute, but she was very yappy. And We gave her away to the neighbor lady who was lonely around the corner, which worked out really great because then we didn't have the pressure of owning a dog, but we could still visit the dog until one day we went and she was feeding her McDonald's cheeseburgers and her belly was on the ground. She got so fat. So we didn't do pets well in my house and have never grown up with animals. And for some reason in the last year, dogs just will come and lay at my feet or rest their head. We were house sitting for Jacob and Aaron Gregory actually last summer, and we watched their dog for them. And Selah just came all the time to me and just rested her head on my lap and would just sit there, and the whole family's laughing because they know that I'm not the pet person. And so now I'm slowly becoming a dog person. And I don't know if I'll ever say I'm a dog mom, but maybe welcoming one into our family would be nice.
Okay, on that note, we're going to take some questions in a moment from online, but we'll do a rapid fire thing. We'll do 10 this or that, so you got to be fast. So I'm going to give you 2 things, and you've got an easy one to start with. I'm using our previous conversation as a segue. It was unplanned, but this is the right time for it. Okay, so ready? Everybody lean in with interest. We're going fast through 10 this or that, so we're going to learn a lot about Laura. Ready? Number 1, dog or cat?
Dog.
2, Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
3, pancake or waffle?
Ooh, waffle.
4, Tim Hortons coffee or no coffee?
No coffee.
Cougars or bears?
Ooh, bears.
Delica van or swimming in the ocean?
Delica.
Delica or having little bugs live in your towels and sheets forever?
Delica.
Delica or being nose blind?
I'm being duped. Delica.
Delica or having a very stinky dog?
Delica.
Delica or being a very stinky person?
Delica.
I think. So our Odyssey is now for sale.
No, it's not.
And
it's not.
We might be buying a Delica.
Okay, let's take some questions.
We'll look up here for some
host.
questions. Your mouse is backwards here.
Mm-hmm.
Is Laura a coffee or tea drinker? And if either, cream or sugar? Thank you, Tanya.
I drink coffee in high quantities, and I can drink it black, but I do put a little bit of half and half in.
Yeah, okay.
A little bit.
They're asking about desserts. What kind of desserts do you like? And please send in more questions you might have for Laura tonight. Also, by the end of the night, we've got some ideas of what we may talk about next week, our 3rd and final Live with Laur. Sharing our story would be one. But we're open to other suggestions of things we could do next Wednesday. So, dessert.
Do I know any good jokes? Yeah, desserts. I really, lately I've been having a hankering for a brownie, with some kind of salted caramel. I'm a big fan of salted caramel. My mom makes a Swedish torte, a Swedish cake, which is fantastic. So basically anything. I love dessert.
Mm-hmm. Salty or sweet?
I also love salty food.
Okay, so both?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sandra asks a favorite board game.
Settlers of Catan.
Yeah, that's fun. We like that. It gets intense and we usually get tired of it by the end, but...
Does Dutch Blitz count as a board
game?
No. Because I love game. Dutch Blitz.
Okay, what kind of things do you like reading for fun? What kind of books?
Reading?
Yeah, every once in a while you get
Mm-hmm. I love the Hunger Games series. I do well with fiction stuff. I loved the Hunger Games series, reading that. There's a book series, now I'm not going to remember it, called The Rosie Project, and very cute, fun story about a gentleman who throughout his life discovers that he is autistic. And it's beautiful, beautiful, funny story, very endearing. And Christy, I think you know who the mischievous one is here. Just based on our hosting. Yes, I do love reading occasionally. But actually, most recently, I love thrifting. Somebody asked what I like to do on my free time,
Yeah.
and there's a couple different things. But most recently, I was at the Salvation Army and found some incredible building books, woodworking books, that have great, incredible pictures from the 1990s, and the furniture is hilarious. The basics are the same, but yeah.
Chris Burgess asks you, Laura, where would your first trip be in your new Delica van? Great question, Chris. You're really on fire tonight with questions.
Yeah, so probably to the Nitnat River, where Mike would teach me how to fish.
Oh, that's sweet. That's really beautiful.
Yeah. Well, other things I like to do on my free time, because I like that question, be alone. I love to be alone.
You don't have any pests in your life, though.
No.
We love being with you.
Yes. And I love being alone. I love building things. So I build furniture, not fancy furniture, but
yeah, you're a very good builder.
benches, Adirondack chairs, that sort of thing. I'm a bit of a hobbyist, so that's what I like.
Okay, let's talk building. I had a question about that. Well, maybe two. Tools. Talk tools. I don't know about tools, but you do.
Well, not really.
A little bit. You know more than me, and you can build things that I can't dream of doing. What are some brands you like so far?
I use Ryobi for most of my tools right now because it is affordable, and I have found it to be effective for what I can afford.
Okay. I don't have a comment in response because I don't know if that's good or bad. What are a few types of tools or machine things that you would still like to buy?
Well, if we're talking shop, what I would need is a shop vac, because I don't have one and our garage gets full of sawdust. So that's top of my list. I also would like to buy an air compressor and a brad nailer. So somebody recently gave me a little awesome air compressor that I have to tide me over. So I'd like to get those. And yeah, I think once you get into an air compressor, there's lots of fun things that you can get. So.
Okay, next question. Somewhat connected to tools. Who is Clove?
Well, it's funny you should ask. I have a little bit of an alter ego on Instagram sometimes. Her name is Clove, and she does building videos when she's building something like a bench, and we'll just do silly things like that, or changing a car battery. I think that was one of my first ones. So, yeah, she talks a little bit Canadiana, and brings you in on the story, shows you what you got to do and what you gotta have in order to make the perfect bench or shelving, and we could just get her done.
Yeah, you did some work on the car too with Clove, didn't you?
Yep. Change the car battery.
Did you already say that? And
Yeah.
I was reading.
I did.
I'm sorry. I was reading questions and comments.
Okay.
Okay, that's Clove. Let's go back to some questions. There was a book-related question. You were talking about...
I have not read the Game of Thrones books.
Okay. If you could go anywhere on a trip, where would you go and why? And that's sort of connected to Chris's question as well, which is favorite vacation done, and where would you like to go?
Mike and I, well, Mexico's always lovely. We have been to Mexico a couple of times to the same resort. So we like that. But probably my most memorable holiday was when we went backpacking in Europe for, was it 3 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks before we had kids. And the most amazing spot was Salzburg, Austria. It was absolutely stunning in every way, and we got to see a string quartet in a marble castle, which is called Mirabell. Schloss Mirabell. And so, did that play into how we picked Mira's name?
Yeah,
it did.
It was a great memory, and so we remembered that castle and that place.
Yeah. But one of the things that made it so wonderful is the food. At one hotel, there was this one menu item that was like ridiculously long in German, and so Mike asked the server what it was, and she
I
said,
just wanted to hear her say it because it was this long
Yeah.
German word.
so it was garlic soup. And we said, well, we have to try that. And we each ordered an enormous schnitzel. And we regretted it because the garlic soup was absolutely incredible, that we were like passionately and fervently awaiting the next time we could go and have another bowl. And so we made the trip back the next day. Turns out they're closed on Wednesdays, and that was the day we left, and we never got to have it again, and we have been pining for it ever since.
Yeah, okay. Chris Burgess has got some really other great questions here, and I encourage others to jump in. I know there are some. Chris asks, if you were stranded on a desert island, what would be the 3 things you could not live without besides the Delica van?
Okay. Oh, man. Well, my kids might say my phone, but that's not true. 3 things I couldn't live without. I'd bring Mike along.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw, I would go.
That's nice. I would bring along... I don't know. I'm really bad at these questions. Mike could answer that better than me, for me.
Well, probably coffee.
Yeah.
And your Bible. Or a guitar. Some way for you to feel connected.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other question earlier, speaking of desert islands, I guess, was the follow-up to favorite trip was where would you want to go?
What?
If you could go anywhere in the world. Dream trip.
Where would I go?
Yeah.
We have talked about doing the Mediterranean, kind of south of France. I would love to visit Israel one day, and get to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably a cruise.
Dubai would be cool. Will you come there with me?
Are you answering this question?
Well,
go ahead.
I would go to Dubai. I want to go to Patagonia, South America. Fly fish there.
I want you to go to South America. To have the time of your life.
Okay.
And then come back.
Here's a great question from Tanya. Are you a sports fan? And if so, which team do you cheer for?
I used to be a big hockey fan. I still enjoy hockey, but when we were dating, I actually followed statistics and knew all the players and all the rules.
I think it was to woo me.
No, that was genuine.
Yeah. Well,
I enjoyed it. I liked hockey, but I don't follow it too much.
Sharon Wennerberg, do you like Mike's cookie duster?
What the heck is a cookie duster?
It's a lip stash. It says lip snake. There's other good names for mustaches out there.
I do.
It's not permanent, but it's...
No, I really do like it. And I love all the stages of your beards, actually.
Oh,
there was a time when he had like an impressive beard.
I've had a couple beards. But...
Yeah.
Chris Geitenbeek. This is a good one. Stories behind the kids' names.
Go ahead. You tell this one.
No. You're the guest.
Yes,
I'm the host.
Okay.
I can jump in, but you start.
So Lyndon, how did we come up with Lyndon's name? See, this is why he has to answer. We found his name in a book.
No.
We did not.
No.
Okay, so I don't have a great memory, and I'm not very sentimental. So
we had worked through a bunch of name options, and we're not agreeing. Like, there wasn't harsh disagreement at all, but we just couldn't find something we both were like, yeah. And it was actually Laura, not from a book, just out of the blue one day. She says, what about the name Lyndon? I was like, oh, I like that. Yeah. Of course, I am a Canucks fan, and I've got fond memories of Trevor Linden, so that helps, but he's not named after Trevor Linden. And so that one really stuck. His middle names are James Joseph, and both boys have the middle name Joseph. Both the main Josephs in the Bible, of Genesis and of
Jesus.
Husband to Mary, were very noble guys of high character. And so we just thought that would be a cool thing for both our guys to have included in their names. So that's Lyndon. Jackson. We liked that name. It was high on our list. Felt like a fit.
At that point, we had a longer list. Did you already say that? we had
We've
kind
been
of,
developing,
yeah,
yeah.
we developed a list of names
Yeah.
and picked from there. So Jackson was on that list.
His full name, Jackson Jones Joseph.
Hmm.
And then Lucy.
Lucy, this is kind of funny.
Funny.
Yeah, the story of Lucy.
The origin?
My sister will love me.
Oh, okay. Well, let's back up one step first. Or do you want to say that?
Go ahead.
Well,
I don't
okay,
remember
so
what the step is.
before we had any kids, we just thought if we ever have a girl.
Yes, Lucy.
It was actually after watching The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe when it came out in 2005 or whatever it was. And little Lucy Pevensey on there was the cutest thing. And I just thought, and I came out of that and I said to Laura, oh, wouldn't it be beautiful to have a Lucy one day? And she's like, I was thinking the same thing. So that just stuck for several years. And Bidells tend to have male children. I have a sister, which is awesome, and there are few Bidell families that have given birth to a daughter along the way. My dad has I've got a second cousin, and she was the firstborn female Bidell in over 100 years. So there's just lots of boys, and so we came out of the gates with 2 boys and figured we probably just going to have boys anyways. And then there was a big surprise when Lucy came along. That was so thrilling. We'll get to your story in a moment. We might as well talk about, we just expected it to be another boy. Of course, we were prepared for if there was a girl, but when the baby came out, the doctor wrapped it up very quickly.
And assumed we knew the gender of the baby.
Yeah, the doctor thought we had known from beforehand, so there was no sort of reveal. So she handed swaddling little baby over to Laura, and they're doing all the work they do right away, and it felt like forever. It was probably only like 45 seconds. I finally said, well, what do we have? And so the doctor unwrapped. He said, well, I don't see any little bits between the legs. And I said in total shock and disbelief, it's a girl.
And then he fell over onto my lap and wept.
Your lap.
Well, my
Your
stomach.
Lap was busy then.
My stomach.
I fell onto your chest, onto your face.
And he wept and wept and wept. So much
It was
so
an ugly
that the
cry.
doctor looked at me like, are we okay here?
I had to assure the doctors I was happy to
Happy.
have a girl. I couldn't believe it. I was just so amazed. Then we're getting off track here a little bit. I'll just say this. When Mira came along, we thought we were going to have another boy because it's just what Bidells do. And we could not believe it. We had a second girl. So 2 boys close together, 2 girls. And so instead of crying, we just laughed. While Laura was on laughing gas.
No, I was not.
Sorry.
That I remember. I was not.
You were on a...
I had an epidural.
She was cracking jokes between contractions she had the nurses and doctor in stitches, which is a funny thing to say in a birth narrative, I guess, but...
So, Lucy, we
name.
kept our names because we wanted Lucy forever and forevermore, that name. We didn't share our list of names with anybody. And my sister was pregnant at the same time as me. And we are not twins. We're 2.5 years apart, but we are best friends and sometimes operate like twins. We sometimes will text each other the exact same thing at the exact same time or within a couple minutes or something. Just really weird, I guess, if it was different times. Never mind. Anyways, we're very similar, sometimes very different the rest of the time. Anyways, my sweet sister came to me and said, Laura, you'll never guess what. We finally decided on a name if it's a girl. I'm going to tell it to you. And I said, no, don't tell me, because I know it's going to be the same name that we have for our girl if it's a girl. And she said, no, there's like 40,000 names. There's no way that it would be the same name. There's absolutely no way that it could be the same name. I'm going to tell you. I said, Rach, don't. If you tell me and then it's the same name, we're going to have to fight and that won't be fun. And she said, it's Lucy.
She blurted it out.
She blurted it out, and it was the exact same name, and we both looked at each other and burst out laughing, and then she very sweetly said, okay, if you had it first, you can have it. And I said, okay, thanks. And then we named her Lucy. So And they had a boy, by the way.
Yeah. So Lucy's full name is Lucia, which is Swedish.
So this is a really long answer.
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
Well, I hope it's very interesting to us.
Yeah, we only lost 1 viewer from it, so that's fine.
Okay.
Lucia Truth Elizabeth Bidell. I think that's pretty. She's our Lucy True.
Beautiful. Lucy True.
And then Mira came along. Mirabelle Kindness Elizabeth Bidell. I always wanted, if we were able to have a second daughter, I wanted a little kindness. So Mirabelle Kindness, Elizabeth Bidell, we call her Mira.
And both the girls have Elizabeth because my middle name's Elizabeth, and my mom and my sister and my aunt and my grandma, and so on and so forth. There you go. There's the 10-minute version of how we named our children.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Great question. We'll look for any other questions we can find here. Chris Burgess, see your other question there. Great question. I will say we've got a town hall. Yours is a church-related question. We've got a town hall coming up November 25 in person, and then December 2 Zoom. So come to one of either of those. And then that one the town halls will be a great place for churchy kind of questions. We'll try to keep this as personal as we can right now. Okay, I'm going to go off this list for a little bit here, Laura.
Okay.
Laura, I don't know how you found this last week. This was the list she was asking me a bunch of questions on. I think you just Googled.
I just Googled. It was a list of 200 questions.
13-year-old who can't spell can come up with 200 questions. What might that look like? Because this is bizarre, and there's a lot of spelling issues. But describe yourself in 3 words.
Funny. I don't know. I don't know. I hate these questions.
Well, you asked me, so I'm going to
okay.
just let you sit in that.
I'm funny, I'm creative, and I think I can be thoughtful.
Mm-hmm, you are. If you could be any animal, what would it be and why? Did you ask me that last week? I think I remember talking about Roosevelt elk.
That's true. You did ask. I did ask you that
Okay.
question. If I could be any.
Well, no, you could be a Lady Roosevelt elk. You could. Oh yeah, we talked about calls. I can't do that call, but I would try if it got you close.
Okay. I wouldn't be a sea-dwelling creature. I can tell you that much. Don't put me in the ocean. Yeah, geez, I don't know. Something happy. Happy. Oh, yeah, like a fun orangutan or something.
A fun one.
Yeah, and they also have hilarious faces.
They
So
don't look happy.
I feel like it would just sort of. But they are playful.
Okay.
Okay, next question. This is
good, and this is a bit of a. This isn't rapid fire. You can be thoughtful in these. What is the most delightful word you can think of? I like that question. Those of you out there. Okay, any of you looking for a meaningful conversation with a family member or friend? I think that's a good question. What's the most delightful word you can think of? If you're looking for the shallow end answer to begin the conversation, then say something like food or whatever. It's a delightful word. I love that word. But what's another delightful word? Maybe with a bit more, from the deep end?
A delightful word. Lovely.
Why do you like that one? You're lovely.
Thank you. I like lovely things. And it's a soft word, but it says a lot.
Yeah. What did you eat for breakfast?
Well, I actually had a bacon and egg McMuffin this morning.
What?
I know.
Where?
At McDonald's.
Oh.
I went and got a coffee. Had a really funny interaction with somebody in the parking lot. So much so that I rolled down my window and I said, "I'm really sorry." And then we both laughed. The McDonald's drive-thru by the Thrifties here, there's like the dollar store, and I was in line for the drive-thru and decided, this is insane, I'm just going to park and go in. And then there was a truck coming, and so I had to kind of skirt around him and waved and said thanks. But then he went around the circle and I went around back again to park, and he was there. And then I didn't see his reverse lights on, so I passed him and pulled into the spot that he was about to reverse into, and it was hilarious. And then we both were outside standing in the lineup beside each other to get in McDonald's, and I just had to look him right in the eyes and laugh and say, "I'm really sorry about that. I'm not an idiot driver, I promise."
So was that like your Egg McMuffin, was it like a nervous one?
No, I knew I was getting an Egg McMuffin the whole time. So much so that I went through that to get breakfast. I'm not a big breakfast person, actually. I don't eat breakfast often. I know you should, and it's important.
You get onto like smoothie things for a
Smoothies.
while. Glowing green.
Glowing green smoothie.
What goes in that one?
Celery, kale, lettuce, lime, half a banana, and ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, last question from this list here. If you had to choose perpetually cold or hot to live in, which would you choose?
Cold.
And why?
Hot is nice for a season, but I like being warm and toasty at my own choosing.
Oh, that was a hand fart. I squeezed my hand together and it...
I know, he's telling the truth. He's not lying. No, I don't like to ski. I have bad experiences with skiing where I hit moguls and didn't know what moguls were. Michael, don't touch anything. Scroll here, not here.
Okay.
I hit moguls, didn't know what moguls were, and so I switched to snowboarding and have had a much better experience, but have not done any of that since having children.
Okay. Maybe last question from here, unless we see another one come up to give time to, but we'll begin landing this here. Kirsty asked, where did it go?
Do I prefer light conversations?
Yeah. Do you prefer light conversations or deep conversations with friends?
I think when the time is necessary for deep conversations, I enjoy it, but I'm not typically like, ooh, let's have a big serious conversation. I'm not great with debate, like so yeah, the closest people in my life I would have the deepest conversations with. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty chill, I think.
I was going to use your theme song here. Do we switch chairs now, or what happens? Or we can just play that at the very end, or do that while we're switching seats.
Okay, what's happening?
Well, are we switching seats? Are you concluding the show?
Okay, yes.
I feel like I'm the producer here.
Yes, excuse us. We're going to... the host is coming back. Whatever. Oh, we did that in 7 seconds.
Good.
Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, I like this chair way better.
Yeah. Well, that concludes my portion of the show as a guest. I hope you learned a little bit about me. And Pastor Mike, do we have any... Okay, that's a good question.
Which one?
No. What is the most memorable gift? Oh, I can't think of it. Oh, okay, yes. Probably when Mike surprised me with the vowel renewal. Not the vowel renewal.
Yes, I do take E.
And I take U. Aw, that's my joke, Lindy. There's my joke. Yeah, the vow renewal ceremony in Mexico when he brought not one but 2 dresses and they both fit, which I just feel is a remarkable feat. And he got me some nice earrings, but the ceremony in itself was just very thoughtful and included all of our children. Very special. What would I title my autobiography? I know. Okay. No, I want to hear.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It would be, yeah, no. And then some really long subtitle about how God is willing to work with our willingness.
And bring us around on things.
Yeah.
So that never's become,
become not just a begrudging yes, but a display of his loving kindness.
Yeah, well, that's good.
There you go. You
were going to say something. Yes, buy the book.
Yeah. Do you have any updates for this Sunday night or this Sunday? I know there's a couple things happening. Time change being one of them.
Time change. Likely, if you're on this device watching, all of your devices are going to change the time for you. So just follow along. But this is your reminder. Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah.
So there's time change. We're carrying on in our series called Our Vision is Always Jesus, and we're going to talk about Jesus being the desire of the nations, and Genesis 40, Joseph, the cupbearer, and the baker. I think it helps us see God's plan for the whole world, I think. So we'll talk about that on Sunday.
Also, what time should families tune in at?
Oh, this is good. This is going to be fun. We're going to try something new just for a little while here. It may be clunky at first, so bear with us as we give it a go. But we've had decent response to kids coming out every Sunday downstairs here, having a great program for themselves. Pastor Trevor's arranged a great team that's doing a great job. So we encourage families, bring your kids to that, register them, they'll have a good time. But there still are many families that haven't been able to come on a Sunday for various reasons. And so we just thought we'll try for a little while to include a kids component, if you will. It'll just be brief, but it'll actually start at 9:50 in the morning. And Pastor Trevor will bring a greeting, and then we've got a little video that will be shown to the kids downstairs, but we want to make sure that kids watching online have something to see. The reason it'll be a little bit clunky perhaps is because for the next several weeks still we'll have that TV screen up front. We'll share maybe more later on about some changes coming to how the formatting of online is going to work. It's really exciting. But it means that video, you'll be watching it on your screen and on the TV screen on your screen. So it won't be, as good as it will be one day.
It's okay.
Yeah,
That's
but
okay.
It'll be fun. So get your kids, let them tune in. Also, last thing, really important about this Sunday, I think this is going to be special for our church family. We're going to take up a special offering at the conclusion of the service for the Barb Postal Memorial Kitchen.
Fun.
And so, I'm asking everybody watching, everybody in our church family to pray about, think about, talk with your spouse about what you would contribute. It doesn't have to be a lot. You can just, every little thing you can contribute, every little dollar makes a difference. And I think some of us will be praying about significant ways that we can be part of that. But I think it'd be just great for everybody to feel like they're part of it. And so pray about that. And if you're prepared to give already, you can go online and do that and just hit the drop-down box and select the kitchen fund for Barb's memory. Yeah.
Great. Any closing thoughts, Pastor?
I was reading, it was actually yesterday in my devotional time, about a time that the Israelites got duped. This is in the book of Joshua. They got duped by some enemies. And it's an interesting story to read. What stood out to me was the line that, and I won't get it perfectly right here, but to paraphrase, everything appeared to make good sense to them, and they failed to consult the Lord, though. Mm. So even though things made good sense, they didn't pray about it and give opportunity for the Lord to speak into it. And it was obviously included in that text very purposefully to warn future generations of Israel's family and us as the ongoing family of God on earth to remember that even when things make a lot of sense and line up, we need to check with God and give Him opportunity, because the obvious thing may not be exactly what He's always leading us to, and He may want to steer us in a different direction. And so that's just sort of a little devotional thought I've been meditating on and thinking about. I don't want to just assume that because I'm excited about something or inspired that that's the right thing to do. I need to give opportunity for God to speak in the midst of that. So let's continue to grow as people of prayer.
Very good. Well, I think that's all we have. Are we ending 7 minutes early?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Have a really great night, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we may share the last and final edition of Live with Laur. We may share with you our love story.
If there's interest. I mean, that's probably what we'll prepare for.
But we could also just prepare to, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll have a good plan. It'll be ready to go, but we love the question and answer thing. We may bring our kids in for a little visit too, so you can meet them. I know many of you have met them, but we'll bring the kids along. I'm stalling here because I'm waiting for the music.
Thanks for coming to Live with Laura. Have a great night. Da, 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 da.